All right. Hello. Good morning.
Hi, Aggie. I'm Mary Petrella with Petrella's Ancient Healing Arts. And on YouTube, it's Petrella's Intuitive Insights.
And I'm Agatha Wells, aka Grow Green Girl from Grow Green Girl Healing. Hi.
And Agatha and I are friends, and we're both psychic mediums, and we both actually have our own businesses. And there would be some times where I'd say, you know, Agatha, I'm getting a lot of my clientele they're talking about their spirit guides and their angels, and they're talking about, you know, their free will. And that brought on a conversation between us. And so we thought, here's an episode.
Yeah. And I'm personally going through a lot of change, as you are. And excuse me, my cat is just trying to like attack things. So I'm just going to move something. There we go. So yeah, I've been going through a lot of personal change, and as you say, we've had a lot of other clients who are also, I guess, asking for guidance in the changes they're trying to figure out in their lives. And it does bring up the question of like, how much free will do we have, and how do we look to spirit for guidance? And I was thinking recently about, a meditation that I had done just a few nights ago, and I was asking for help from my spirit guides. And normally they're very helpful. They help ground me. They remind me, you're okay. Don't forget all of your resources, and give me some little nugget of wisdom that I can walk away with and be like, cool, thank you. And this time they said, well, we already told you everything that we know. We're looking to you to tell us what to do. And I was like, what? Sorry? and and then they said, we came here to learn as well. So you know what we know. We're here to learn from you. And that really threw me, because I think we're used to thinking of guides as sort of above us or closer to God, knowing more wise, more capable. But so often, I think it's really easy to give our own power away by putting the decisions for our lives in the hands of spirit, when God gave us hands to do things, So sometimes that's a little overwhelming when we realize that we're the decision maker. And really, in my opinion, or at least in my experience, it feels like my guides, the angels, they're there to step in and help, but they're waiting for me to give the direction of what I want help with. And to me, that's free will. I don't know. What do you think about that, Mary?
Well, I want to go in a couple different directions here. And the first, yes, you're absolutely correct. And as far as I believe, is that God has given us hands. So we need to actually do the work thereof and have the faith thereof. When great miracles have happened in the past, even the splitting of the Red Sea, God, gave Moses this rod that held power, yet Moses had to be the first one to go down there. And it was his foot that had to first step in that river. So he had his work cut out for him. And I'm sure all religions have some kind of story where faith without the works is dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Taking that first step.
Okay. So now when you say about the spirit guides and angels, and I want to also put as spirit guides, this could include our deceased ancestors and their energies that come back to help either reassure us or to guide us. I feel oftentimes, this guidance is there when we ask for it, and when we able to see the signs. Some people are given guidance by the light of God, and yet they can't see it. They're unable to see it. So, and I feel that that's a part of humanness, by the way. We all do that.
Right. Yeah.
So, and I don't, when the spirit guides say it's your free will, I want to give you an example of somebody, and of course, there's this anonymity. So, this woman has been divorced for a couple years, and she's still living in the family home because of the agreement the husband made that she could live there and the mortgage and expenses would be paid under the roof until the youngest daughter graduates. Now, they've been divorced for a couple years, and she's been hanging on to this thread that he's coming back. Yet, I feel that she has seen time after time signs that it's time to move forward and let that go. Right?
Yeah.
The same day that she spoke to me, she also spoke to another professional, and was instructed to move on with her life, start dating. And in fact, I went a step farther and said, you need to leave the house. And you, even if you rent somewhere else, you need to leave.
Yeah.
So you can start your other life, because her ex-husband, even though she's divorced, they still have a relationship. So he's free to come to that house anytime he pleases. Her next obvious step is to leave that house. She's already been divorced for a couple years. She already knows there's no getting back, and there's not going to be reconciliation. But it's her fear that's holding her there. So fear is the opposite of faith, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, I'm so grateful that she has professional, logical, and spiritual people that she's speaking with. But when it's a clear sign that these people both said the same thing without even knowing each other,
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't you say that's kind of divinity?
Definitely. Definitely. And I think, yeah, I agree. I think, um,
But,
I think context is really important. And
now
the
free will,
situation.
she's not moving anywhere. She's comfortable where she's at because that's all she has known.
Yeah.
And so taking this step out of fear into faith is so scary. And I got to tell you, this woman is probably one of the bravest, most beautiful. She's just, look, she's so intelligent and intuitive. It's that fear and faith factor. So back to the question of, she's been guided, even through the physical. And I assure you, this lady is so intuitive. She's also been guided in her dreams. I haven't talked to her about it, but in her dreams, I'm sure she has seen clear signs, clear signs. But yet, it's still that first step of free will faith to get out of where she is to where she would like to be. And because this is so comfortable and what she's familiar with, she's going to continue to stay here. So that's that free will, even though her guides and angels may have been giving her clear guidance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the change can be really scary. And I feel, especially now, that so many of us are being called on to adapt. And we're either resisting. I think we're probably all resisting on some level, even those of us who are trying to surrender to it. But because of our humanness, it's okay to feel that resistance. It's just a question of, how long do you want to stay in resistance? Because by definition, this adaptation, like this evolution, is for your own own benefit to lead you to the thing that you say that you want in your heart, you know you want, but it does require um, like letting go and trusting, and that can be so difficult. Um, and all I can say to that is, eh, when you do take that first step, I mean, I felt for me every time spirit has rushed in so fast to say, yeah, like, and shown me like, we got you, you know, like you did it. All right, now here's the next step. All right, let's see you do that, you know. But it's like, as soon as you take that single action, and that action could be internal, it could be external. I think it always has to start internal, before
Great.
it, you know,
Sure.
becomes
That's
external.
the decision. It's the decision.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
decision. Yeah. Yeah. But the energy changes like even faster than I think we believe possible, and even faster now, because I do feel like everything is happening faster now. Um, Change is happening faster now. The distance between thought and decision in physical manifestation seems to be happening faster now. Is
Mhm.
this part of Age of Aquarius? I don't know. Maybe it's somehow connected to the fact that the Earth's magnetic field has dropped. Um, you know, there's a wonderful astrologer who I follow on YouTube, Pam Gregory. She's just lovely. Uh,
Mhm. Hey, let's put her link in link below.
she's really wonderful, and she likes to talk about the connection between spirit and science, which you know I love because I have personally felt for years that spirit and science are going to reunite the way they used to be,
Mhm.
and they already are. They're already starting to. But she's talking about like quantum physics, and she says wherever your attention is turned, there matter coalesces. And I was like, I was very floored by that because it really cemented kind of everything we're talking about with manifestation and in walking in faith. Because it's where you turn your attention that your reality then forms around you.
Mhm.
So, you know, there's a lot of angles that we can look at it from, but it comes back to you taking action.
Mhm.
And
Right.
so yeah, so then it does become like curious again, like, well, why are we interacting with angels and guides? And I'll say on for one thing, I think to remove a little bit of the ego from it, while I do feel like angels and guides are there to help us, that's not the only reason they're there. I think they have so much work they do in the universe, and we're maybe part of it, but we're not the only reason, even though they're so happy to give us every, you know, bit of beautiful energy and love and guidance that we could benefit from.
I got to tell you, may I interject here? I believe that you're absolutely correct because in old texts that I had read, um, it does mention Archangel Michael
Mhm.
being called upon for an individual reading that was delayed because he was helping a country somewhere else. Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah. So, I mean, but that doesn't mean that person was left alone
right.
because these spirit guides and angels, uh, we just need to have the faith that they're there and they're there.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, because we people around the world, whatever you call the light angels of God that are there to help us, you know, they're there. And then I do feel that they strengthen us because it's been said where they touch humans and strengthen them.
Mhm.
And healing, even if it's a healing of a mind, then the physical body, because what you think about, you bring about. Um, and that is where that energy goes.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess maybe a question I have, or to summarize, is like when we're reaching out to connect with our guides, our angels, um, you know, whatever divine beings we're working with, like how do we frame up our attitudes or our intention to, I guess, get the highest, for our highest good, for like to get the greatest benefit, but also to kind of make the most of that help. That's a big question.
Okay, so how do you go about seeking out the advice of your spirit guides and angels? Is that,
And making use of it, I guess.
oh, that's two different questions.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess it is.
Okay, so the first one is oftentimes spirit guides and angels are very, very subtle.
Hmm.
So pay attention to synchronicities. When you see synchronicities, say maybe your therapist and your spiritual advisor, be it your pastor, and you go to both for counsel and they both say the same thing and they don't know each other, take that as they were divinely inspired to give you that message.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that.
One person gives you a message and you see the same message on a billboard as you're driving down the road and you're thinking, what? How could this be? Those are called synchronicities. Those are messages. Other times, dreaming. A lot of people just wake up and they just start their day. If a person would just wake up and before they even open up their eyes, ask themselves, where were you? Who were you talking to? And just make a mental note of the dreaming, journal it down before it's forgotten.
Mhm.
Oftentimes you will find messages in your dream time.
Mm-hmm.
Also meditation. And a lot of runners, I got to tell you, this is another thing because I'm all in, we should have fresh air and sunshine.
Mm.
But when I do readings for runners or people who actively walk outside walking, they tell me oftentimes that they don't have earbuds in. They just watching nature around them and they're allowing that time for the divine to speak to them. So that's a form of meditation.
Ooh,
So that's
I love that. I love
the
that.
second question answered is it's that act of faith. Faith without works, it's not going to happen. So for those people who are saying, hey, I wanted this new position in my company or that company, well, they're not going to come seeking you out. You need to put the energy out there via resume, through however this line opens up for you. It could be through an employment agency, but you need to continue to put that energy out there because energy is energy and it's not going to come back void. So I really feel that that's the answer to your second question. It's the act of faith.
Yeah. And I like that you said like the energy never comes back in a void, or sorry, I forgot how you phrased that,
Yeah.
but yeah, because I've found like, and this is why I think too it's important how you set your request or intention. We just talked about this, like instead of focusing say on like a number that you want, let's say you want $10,000, for X, Y, and Z. I find it helpful to say, I need this to help me feel secure in this. And putting the energy out there and taking the action may not literally manifest in that coming back to you exactly in that way, but I assure you it comes back to you in some way, maybe even a better way than you could have anticipated. But it was that energy that you put out there by taking an action, even if it wasn't the action. And I think that's helpful. It's helpful for me to think about because I can get really frozen in worrying about taking the right action. So then I do nothing, and sometimes you just got to do something. It doesn't have to be the perfect thing. It's just
because you're putting your fear into your past bad decisions.
Yeah.
And saying, hey, I'm taking this step in faith.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And also, I wanted to say the laws of manifesting, that's exactly what you're talking about. Back days before all the even books came out or any of that came out, I was told by like the older ladies, say if you wanted a new house, you would just either draw a picture of what you would want, a fence, what kind of house. And they said to me, put it on your refrigerator so you see it every day. Because what you think about, you bring about. You know, this new car, put it on your refrigerator, cut it out of a magazine. Now, they also said to me, don't ask for the money. Ask for what you would use the money for. For instance,
Yeah.
building the new house, okay? Have the picture of the house on the refrigerator, then take the steps of faith in doing so. It could even be your health, a healthier you. Put it on the refrigerator. And that's just the old way, you know, but
Yeah, it makes sense.
think about it. Bring about, but don't ask for the money. Ask for what you needed the money for. Is it a car? Is it the for your head? Is it to pay the bills that you have looming around you?
Right. Right. Because that could come in the form of like a job opportunity that gives you the money to pay those bills, which is maybe
Exactly.
better than a set amount of money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel that our angels are talking to us all the time. Pay attention to synchronicities. Somebody had coined this phrase, the language of the angels.
Oh,
But it's
yes.
true.
You reminded me, I wanted to ask about, because I've been hearing about light languages.
Okay.
And it really excites me. And I feel like it excites me because it stirs or awakens some kind of recognition in me, even though I don't really fully understand what light language is or how it works. But I'm starting to get inklings of it being something that we're starting to work with more and more. And my understanding is that the way the way you're talking about synchronicities, there's possibly some connection there. Like, light language isn't just words we speak, but it's sounds. So even listening to this video, at some level, spirit is bringing through sounds that are also communicating a message from spirit, vibration, and of course, light, visuals, colors, and images are all part of what we call synchronicities, when we're seeing things and hearing things that are messages from spirit. But yeah, I don't even know if I want to form a question with that. I just want to hear your thoughts on that. I just think it's such a cool topic, but it makes me think also, is light language something we can be, what maybe we'll hear more of as people begin to communicate more consciously with their angels, with spirit guides, with other dimensional beings.
Agatha, may I say, I could tell there was a synchronicity going on as you were speaking and talking about the synchronicities and the tones and not just in the words. I happened on the video. Maybe it recorded it, maybe it did not, but your voice changed, or there was this, glitch in the audio. And I thought, that's exactly what she's talking about.
Wow.
One thing. Second thing, I told you about my clients, and I experienced this myself, and I even shared it with you. For the past several weeks, I have been dreaming about somebody speaking to me in my dreaming. And this is the first time publicly I'm even mentioning it. However, in my own private practice, in my readings, I had 4 other people tell me the same story. And I thought, okay, something is going on here. And that could be also a example of this light language that you're speaking of. That's my question to you.
Yes, I think it is, because Okay, now I'm asking, and they're saying yes. They're saying yes because what's happening is light language is the term you're using now to describe an exchange of energy that we don't yet have a physical language word for to describe. So we will have new words and definitions for what this is as time passes. But at its basis or foundation, the light language is vibration based. So exchange or infusion of vibrations is happening more rapidly through all of our sensory experience. And this is why it is easier for you to communicate grand, complex concepts throughout the entire world. This is cool. Okay, so yeah. So, and okay, thank you. They said this is part of collective consciousness. So thank you. I just got that. So yes.
Yeah, right. So that would be a part of it, very much so. In fact, I think we should throw light language in the title somewhere. And
Yeah.
that is the divine speaking to us. So that is the angels, our guides, those of the light. And of course, you know, where there's light, there's always those shadows. And we'll do an episode on that one day, but today's not the day. Yeah. And but this is good messages, is leading you towards the light.
And that's the point, because yeah, angels, you know, guides, they are in that realm of light. And maybe that is why we're moving towards light language, because light is a vibration itself. It's like, I think the fastest traveling, or, you know, they say light travels faster than sound. So maybe that is part of it too. I think this would be a great question to put to our listeners. You know, what experiences have they had that they think might be an example of receiving or communicating with light language?
Yes.
It's going to be really interesting to start to kind of see it, what it's looking like in the physical world.
Yes, I agree with that. So any of you out there that are listening, you know what, put it in a, you know, if you want us to read your story, send it to the email address and the link below, comments below, you know, put a comment down there of your thoughts on light language, angels, ancestors, and your energies that we work with. And that's even, I want to say, animal energy, earth energies, you know, which is earth energies, you know, these are all a part of the synchronicities and the energies that the divine has made and created. And I feel it's a big part of us just surrendering the need to control, and I'm in this too as well, surrendering that need to control and allowing the divine, and that's me following these signs instead of always making a big deal out of things.
Yeah, I mean, you and me both. We know how often I'm resisting what's out there.
But that's that fear. So it's, look, if there is, as long as your decision is in the light and love, and it's not harming others, I believe that. And when I say bringing no harm to others, sure, if a person's thinking about moving and say that they're immediate, the people who would care most about their move, maybe they didn't tell them. I'm not talking about that kind of, it might be in their best interest to make that move. Just like this woman who is, you know, she has all the clear signs to move on with her life, but yet she's making a clear choice out of fear just to stay where she's at because it's so familiar.
Yeah.
So I'd rather hang on to that, where even if she didn't tell anybody around her except for, her immediate, children, that "Hey, we're making this move," that would be just, an act of faith, stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping out of the need to control, an act of faith into this new way of living.
Yeah.
Light language.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
cool.
that's all I have.
I was
Aggie, do
gonna
you
say,
have
I
anything?
feel like let's leave it at that. And yeah, please do send us your examples of communicating with spirit guides and angels, ancestors, communicating with light language. And yeah.
I got to say something. Right behind your shoulder is a light shadow, a light of a heart. It's dissipating, yeah, as we're speaking.
I saw that.
Okay,
I
there
don't
you go.
what that's reflecting off of too, because
Yeah,
that
but it's gone now.
showed. Yeah.
Now.
I saw
It's
that. I
gone.
was like trying to not get distracted. Oh, there, it's coming back.
Okay, there you go. See, that is light language. We noticed that synchronicity. God bless you, sweetheart, and have a beautiful, prosperous day.
Thank you. You too. Mwah. Okay.